Broadcasting from the world famous LWDL studios, this is Life with Dan and Lewis. I'm Dan.
And I'm Lewis.
And we're here to talk about life and all the wonderful, magical, horrible, awful, fantastic stuff inside that four-letter word.
Life.
Before we get too far in, if you hear anything you like today, feel free to go over to buymeacoffee.com/LWDL. Your support is greatly appreciated for this little adventure we are on.
Thank you for your support.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you also.
How was your week?
It was long.
Yeah, you had a normal week, but it ended kind of abnormal.
Yeah.
Just in that you had plans that you sort of forgot about, and then we're like, screw it, I got to do them, so let's do it.
Yeah, pretty much. My work week was...
Maybe you didn't forget about them. You didn't realize how quick they were coming up.
Well, actually, I thought that they were next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they actually were this week.
Gotcha.
And so it worked out work-wise and everything. Got coverage for me since I was going to be out and everything. So my work week was Monday through Wednesday.
Not bad.
And then Thursday, which, was a surprise because my daughter was very adamant that if mommy couldn't go, she didn't want to go.
Oh.
But then I talked her into it, and, Thursday morning we get up and she's just like, are we leaving now? I'm like, no, we're going to be leaving in a couple hours.
Right.
And she was just very excited about going, got her packed up, and it was her first time in Houston.
Okay.
And actually, it was her first time in Houston and her first trip with just me and not with the whole family.
Oh, okay.
So my mother picked us up and we went to Houston for my nephew's graduation.
Nice.
And so, it was pretty exciting and pretty good. So it was kind of a turnaround trip. We got there on Thursday and then we left Friday.
Right.
And so, but yeah, all in all, everything was pretty good. Action-packed, a long week, but it was a good long week, I can say. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the week was kind of a normal work week, and then it ended kind of, somewhat dramatically in that I decided I'm taking a week off.
Sometimes it just bees like that.
Yeah. So I am going to Denver at the end of next week, so I was already taking Thursday, Friday. And then Thursday this week, I decided I wanted to take Friday off.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, take Monday off and have 2 4-day weekends. And then I was like, well, if I take Monday off, then might as well take Tuesday, Wednesday off. So I just decided to take the whole thing off. So Friday at noon, I left, and I won't be back till Tuesday the 30th.
Nice.
So yeah, it'll be nice. I haven't taken a long break from work in a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's definitely needed?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty burnt out, and I think I think I'm really good at giving myself short breaks.
Okay.
Whether it's a couple hours off or, take a day off, take it easy for a couple of days, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I'm good at longer disconnect breaks. And I think that has led to a little bit of burnout.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really not a whole lot planned other than I want to get the house really cleaned and set. So when I come back, it's a nice, perfect space to come back to.
Yeah.
After my Denver trip.
Yeah, kind of when I pulled up today and you were mowing the lawn, and then surprisingly, when I got out of the car, you're like, "Hey, in the bucket, there's 2 snakes in there."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Well," so I was at my sister's house, and my mother needed her phone charger out of the car. So my sister has kind of a long driveway that comes up the side of the house. It's weird the way her house is built, but there's a long semi-winding driveway, and then the garages are offset towards the back.
Yeah.
And then you have a side door where you go kind of go into the side of the house, mm-hmm. whatnot. But the side door where you open up and it comes to the dining room area. Mm-hmm. But immediately to your right is the front door, and then the former living room is up front. So I proceeded to go out, and so I was just like, man, it's kind of dark. Mm-hmm. Let me hit my mom's alarm to unlock the car where the front lights come on. And sure enough, I came side by side with a snake. Don't know what kind it was. I did the high step thing and kind of ran out of there, and it took off and went somewhere. And so it went one way, I went the other. Yeah. And that was that. And then when I come over today, I think I mentioned to you, I was like, how many snakes can I come in contact with in, in one weekend?
Yeah.
But all in all, nobody got bit. Everybody's safe.
No. Yeah, mine were very unexpected. So I started this morning with, I was out in the patio having my morning coffee, and I noticed that my dill plant had gotten chewed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was looking over at it, and there's some hornworms on it. And so I pulled those off of it, and pulled about 6 of them off of my plants, threw them over the fence, and thought my gamekeeping duties were done for the day. And then I was going to go for a walk, walked out front. It was like pretty nice out, not too sunny, not too hot. And the grass needed cut. So I was like, okay, I'm going to mow the grass. And, 2 or 3 swipes in, I saw a snake flopping around. I cut it almost in half.
Wow.
So I scooped that one up, put it in a bucket. Said, okay, well, what's the chance of that happening again? Kept mowing. About, 2 minutes later, got another one. This one didn't get cut up at all. It just sort of was flopping around. It was trying to get out of the way. Grabbed it, threw it in the bucket. And then it was in a smaller bucket, and then it was getting out of that bucket. So I had to get it in a bigger bucket. And then I put an old pan on top of that, and sort of was containing it, trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. And I'm hoping I wouldn't have to put a third one in there, really.
Yeah.
But at which point I switched from my tennis shoes to my work boots.
Nice.
And I think that's going to be the grass boots for the foreseeable future.
For quite a while.
These two were garter snakes, so not that big of a deal. But I don't want to find a spicier variety when I'm in my tennis shoes.
Precisely.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then at some point we decided we were going to take those. We released them back out in the pond.
Yeah.
On the far side behind my house, there's a pond. We walked around to the back of that and dropped them over there. One was no longer alive, and the other one got the hell out of there real quick.
Yeah. The one is going to be something's food, and the other one
probably. Yeah.
It's just like, I'm alive. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I proceeded to do a snake away treatment around the yard to hopefully keep any reoccurrences down.
There you go.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a wild day that I did not expect.
Yeah. I was definitely not expecting my snake and current.
I guess you never really expect a snake.
No, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, I'm just looking forward to this. I was looking forward to my vacation out of town already, but now having this little bit of vacation in town, I'm kind of looking forward to that too. I might try to sneak a golf lesson in. I was supposed to have one last week, and I ended up canceling because my back was bugging me a little bit.
Okay.
But then a couple hours after I canceled, I was feeling fine, so I should have just kept it.
Yeah.
It was just just a freak thing. But so yeah, I'm gonna text my guy maybe Monday and just be like, hey, last minute, do you have anything open? Anytime today, and I can just go whenever. So yeah, we might do that sometime this week. But I'm just looking forward to not worrying about work, not gonna look at email, and I'm not gonna do anything.
That's good. That's kind of what I did. I actually went to Houston for my nephew's graduation, and he had 754 people in his graduating class. Mm-hmm. My graduating class was, if my memory serves me correct, 323 people. So, it was a very, I'm not going to say it was a long graduation because they kept it moving. They were like, kept everything short and to the point and everything. So it was pretty good. I did realize one thing. I hate long distance driving. And so next time, if I have to go to Houston, I'm going to fly there.
Okay.
Not drive.
How long is that drive?
About 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Well, actually, I had to go to the Woodlands. So I had to go through Houston and then west over to the Woodlands. It was a nice drive. Had, multiple different conversations with my mom and my daughter. And so it was good to spend family time together. But as far as the drive and, making that long distance drive, I kind of hate it.
Right.
So, but other than that, everything else is pretty good.
What's in your cup?
Well, I am drinking.
Uh-oh. It's an unlabeled glass of mysterious liquid. Lewis Bartends Part 2.
Right. There you go. Kettle One vodka.
Uh-huh.
Mixed with Dr. Pepper Zero.
Strawberries and cream?
There you go. Strawberry and cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too out there.
No.
Only 2 ingredients? You feeling all right?
Yeah. Yeah. I kept it simple for right now.
Right.
Hint right now.
For right now?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You never know what might happen later on. So yeah, I just kept it nice and simple. 2 ingredients, vodka and soda.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
what the night brings. What about you? What
Yeah,
did you?
I'm doing seltzers today, and I picked up the first one I grabbed was one of the Happy Dad seltzers, and the reason I grabbed that is because we were outside doing some yard work, and even though I drank a bunch of water, I feel a little bit dehydrated, and there's electrolytes in the Happy Dad seltzers.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do one of those, and then I picked up a watermelon deal here from Shell House. I'm gonna pop that open here in a couple minutes and let that take me through the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, just some seltzers today, nice and easy. We're gonna go downstairs and order some wings in a little bit. I'm probably gonna have a Jack and Diet or something.
Sounds pretty good.
Something mixed like you're doing in a little bit here.
Cool.
But yeah, seltzers for now, including a Happy Dad with some electrolytes. We're not sponsored by them, but man, that would be nice to be sponsored by them.
They have some pretty good drinks.
They do. And I like the electrolytes add in there. That helps you not get hungover and recover a little easier.
Yeah, and they're pretty flavorful and everything else.
Yeah, this is a pineapple one. I'm kind of liking it. I'm actually really liking it.
We had some a week or so ago doing a little bit of tailgating. We had a few.
Yeah.
And a few other people that walked by.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about that on the show. So since the last recording, we went to the XFL Championship.
Yes.
I think we recorded before the championship.
Correct.
For our previous episode. So yeah, this is the first post-championship episode.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Did some good tailgating. It was just me and you, and we ran into someone we didn't know that hung out for a little while.
Yeah.
Someone you know that hung out for a little while, and then someone that I know that hung out for a little while.
Yeah.
So sort of a collection of the acquaintances.
Yeah, definitely.
And, it was a lot of fun. We stopped at Taco Cabana, got some tacos on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Really good tacos, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by that. We did make a mistake. We ordered fajita tacos, and she said, "Do you want anything on them?" And we were like, "No." We should have gotten something on them, like some pico or something.
Yeah.
They're a little bland, but still, they're pretty good.
Yeah, all the tacos that I had 2 tortillas, so I actually made my 1 taco into 2.
Yeah.
Which was,
Yeah, with their corn tortillas, they always double wrap them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time, I think I would order them with guac and pico on them, and I think they'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
In
definitely.
Fact, we'll have to talk after this. Maybe we'll do that instead of wings. We'll talk.
Sounds good.
This is the place that we would like to tell you about our sponsors, but we don't have any right now. Maybe you can help us out. Life with Dan and Lewis is actively looking for new brands, podcasts, people, and companies to partner with. If you're interested, drop us a note at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
We'd like to hear from you. After all, we are doing this for your entertainment. Drop us a note and let us know where you're listening from. Or if you have any ideas for new segments, things you'd like us to stop doing, do more of, less of, or anything at all, email us at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
Hey, so we were brainstorming topics, and we sort of have a running list, right, that we work from.
Yeah.
And you picked one out today, and it was going to be self-care.
Correct.
But we didn't really have very much more to go from that. So we just did some research and sort of picked topics on self-care and sort of put together this 5 quick dives into self-care. Mm-hmm. And we broke it down into 5 quick dives, five subjects. So the first one is the importance of self-care. And really, this is, self-care is about prioritizing your physical, mental, and emotional needs and taking deliberate actions to nurture and care for yourself.
Correct.
So it's multifaceted in that we're not just talking about the time to go take a bubble bath. We're not just talking about time to, worry about. We're not just talking about time to deal with your anxiety or depression, whether that's through medical treatment or counseling or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about the overarching idea of self-care. So that's, physical well-being, and that's, exercise and sleep and maintaining a balanced diet.
Correct.
taking care of your physical health just on an overall state, so that your energy levels and productivity are increased and maintained. Also, so that you don't end up with more serious health conditions down the road.
Correct.
So it's not just being better; it's preventative.
Mm-hmm.
The next part is the mental and emotional well-being, and that part is support. That part of the self-care sort of sphere is more on the emotional side of things. This is being easy on yourself, practicing self-compassion, and doing things that promote relaxation and stress reduction. That's anything from like meditation to journaling, or to therapy or counseling, or just taking time for yourself when when you're not doing things for other people, just to do things for yourself.
Yeah.
So that all factors into that. And then fitting nicely with our discussion of my vacation coming up here that I'm on right now, really, is preventing burnout.
Yeah.
And preventing burnout is part of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by chronic stress. And it might not even be like a great amount of stress, but it can be a consistent amount of stress that you're not dealing with. That's what it is in my case. It's not that my job is super stressful. It's consistently stressful.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving myself a long enough time away from it.
Yeah.
And neglecting your self-care, not only in preventing burnout, but in the mental health and the physical health areas, can sort of lead to more burnout. So
Yeah.
it's part of this well-rounded approach that if you're not taking care of everything, you could end up with a deficiency and get burned out.
I think it's important because you have your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health.
Mm-hmm.
You could be burnt out on all three, or you could be burnt out on one,
Right.
or two. But it's just important to identify which one you're burnt out on,
Right.
and then you can do some self-care in that particular
Yeah.
area.
I think I think they sort of play on each other too, because I was stressed and my mental health was stressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
And you were sick and I was sick, and we were sort of sick together for a few weeks there.
Yeah,
And I think that made things harder.
definitely.
So it's like, the drop in physical health made the already depleted mental energy worse.
Correct. I can definitely agree with that.
And it's important to remember too that when it's sort of an opposite approach here. You think, oh, I'm going to build resilience by just pushing through. Well, if your stores are already depleted,
Yeah.
you're not building resilience. You're just wearing yourself out. So you need to take time back, rebuild your stores so you can build that future your resilience.
Correct.
Sort of your energy stores sort of are increasing in an overall upward trend. But if you let them get in that valley and you don't give yourself time to rebuild them, there's nowhere else for them to go.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is important to remember that self-care is not selfish.
No.
It's necessary and a vital component to having a healthy and fulfilling life.
And if you look at it being selfish, well, then maybe sometimes you just have to be.
That's an alternative take to it, right? It's okay to be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you give everything of yourself and you never take time to replenish what you need, then what good are you for?
That's a great point.
If you have a family,
Right.
and you're always giving and giving and giving and never take time for yourself, whether like for women, sometimes you go get your nails done and you
Sure.
just take time to just relax, or, for us men, sometimes we go to the gym or go for a walk or, go play golf or, some sport or something like that. Just take time to just don't really have to worry about the next person or the next thing, and then just be true to yourself and just relax.
Right. So the next topic we pulled was types of self-care.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some specific examples in each of those physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual ways, and what those actually look like.
All right.
So in the physical areas, it's things like going for a walk, practicing yoga, or participating in physical activities, sports that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Or hiking or whatever. So physical activities that's working out your muscles, it's getting your heart rate up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
On the emotional side of things, it's activities like journaling, therapy, talking to friends, practicing mindfulness or meditation, and engaging in creative outlets like painting, writing, playing music, that kind of stuff. So stuff that sort of works your brain in a creative way.
Yeah. Then you have the mental self-care. Mm-hmm. There's activities that stimulate and challenge your mind. You promote mental clarity and reduce mental stress. Activities like reading a book, solving puzzles, or brain teasers, learning a new skill or hobby, engaging in creative pursuits, or practicing mindful and relaxation techniques all help with your mental health self-care.
So that's sort of flexing the critical thinking and like the power part of your brain.
Yeah.
So it's your physical body, your creative brain, your thinking brain.
Yeah.
And then we found another component, or two more components. One was social self-care.
Yeah. So that's like activities that allow you to connect, interact, and engage with loved ones, friends, or your community.
So this can kind of overlap into that emotional self-care too, because you're spending time with people you can talk to and stuff.
Yeah, this can include spending quality time with family and friends, joining social or interest-based groups, volunteering or participating in community events. Social connections and a sense of belonging are vital for overall well-being and can provide support, companionship, and a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah. I think that's all important here. Building a supportive community, participating in some kind of companionship, and sort of it's filling niches that lead to you feeling fulfilled.
Yeah, I would say in an instance like that, if you're single, living in a city by yourself, where you don't have family close by, then do some community service type things. Where you can connect with other people, and overall you're doing something to help somebody else, not yourself. And I find in helping others, you're actually helping yourself because you make yourself feel good.
Without a doubt.
Not in a boastful type way, but in a way of I'm looking beyond myself and looking to help somebody else. But in reality, while you're helping somebody else, you're really helping yourself heal in a way, because that fulfillment area is being met. Yeah,
that's a good point. The final one we pulled was spiritual self-care.
Yes.
And this is not just like a religion thing. This is more on a nurturing your sense of meaning, your sense of purpose, and connecting to something sort of bigger than yourself. So connecting to the universe, or whatever you want to call it.
Correct.
So that's things like meditation or prayer, spending time in nature, engaging in self-reflection, participating in other activities that sort of bring you a sense of inner peace.
Yeah.
So this is the calming part of this whole situation. The other parts were engaging different parts of your mind and body. This is the calming and the inner peace part of the situation.
If you think about it, if you look back to Native Americans, they were at one with nature. And so it was that's their spiritual type thing of, just sitting out and being at one with nature, and then allowing nature to replenish their spirit. And making them better overall. So
definitely,
if whatever religion you practice, if there's meditation or prayer or something that you do, then just make sure that you incorporate that in your daily life, and just set aside some time for it, and so that way you can replenish your spiritual health.
I think it's also important to remember that some of these areas may be different for different people. So some people may need a lot of that recharge in the spiritual world, and some people may need just a little tiny bit of that.
Yeah.
So it's a highly personal, self-care is a highly personal equation. Yeah. And you sort of have to look at all those different components, and maybe others we didn't even mention, and sort of balance that out for what you need.
Yeah.
So another item we chose to focus on is overcoming barriers to self-care. And we have a bunch written down here, but I think we're just going to summarize it and talk about how all these things are overcomeable. So the first one is time constraints. So how do you overcome that? You have to make time for yourself. If you don't make time for yourself, you ain't got time for no one else.
Correct.
That's what it comes down to. So the second one is guilt and prioritization. And this comes down to the self-care is not selfish, or it's okay to be selfish, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
You have to prioritize yourself. And it all comes back to that first one too. You have to prioritize yourself if you want to be able to do anything for anyone else.
Yeah. That's a good one, because, you shouldn't feel guilty, because sometimes Alicia she has had a stressful day. We have two kids, an 11 and 4-year-old. And sometimes she just wants to, take time to be by herself. So,
right.
Us together, she'll talk, and she's like, look, I just want to take a bubble bath, just sit in the bathtub, light some candles, listen to some music. And she'll ask me to take care of the kids and stuff like that. So you shouldn't feel guilty about that, because that's what you need.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take the time to do that, then you become snappy.
Right.
It affects your attitude, your mood. Where you don't want to give off anger, you could.
Right.
Where you don't want to, be snappy and
Right.
and like,
And it's like that rubber band thing. You start pulling down on the mental part of that rubber band. Then it starts pulling down the physical health part of it. It starts pulling down the emotional, so everything starts getting pulled down when you don't take care of one area because you get so worn out from just having to mentally be on alert and taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
And that plays great into the next one too, and that's lack of support. So while you may feel like you have a lack of support, you need to build a community that is supportive so that you can get the help you need to be able to focus on yourself.
Correct.
So lack of support is not an excuse. It's an area to improve on so that you can focus on yourself.
And that's good because, like, in my family, if I'm at work or away, Alicia needs the time to just get away, she can either ask my mom or her grandmother.
Right. Exactly. So that's a strong support group around there to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So financial constraints, I think that's something that we all think of when we sort of think of self-care in like a general, like, oh, I need to go to a spa for self-care, or oh, I need to get a massage for self-care. And I think this just requires a little bit of creativity to find ways that are, free or very low cost.
Yeah.
Without straining your finances to participate in some kind of self-care activities. And this could be things like, instead of going to a gym, maybe we go walk at a city park.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So just changing your mindset a little bit and setting realistic expectations for what you can afford for self-care.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it because, like, instead of going to a spa, well, run yourself a bubble bath, put on a mud mask while you're at home.
Sure.
Do your own nails for women who like to do their own nails. Walking is always good. Walking up some stairs, down some stairs,
But to that same point, there's nothing wrong with setting a goal and saying, you know what, I'm going to save up for the next 3 months and then I'm going to get a massage.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that either. So you shouldn't be feeling guilty about spending money if you can budget appropriately to get that to work. Yeah. And I think we talk about this one a lot, and that's when you're making a change, it's important to start small and be consistent.
Correct.
So a tiny change that you consistently stick with will snowball into bigger and better changes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same with self-care.
Yeah. If you identify a couple key small things that you can do that gives you that incorporates your self-care in it, just do those small things. And then, be consistent with doing those small things. And then after that, then, be like, okay, well, if I got this mastered.
The small things will become habit. And you won't even be thinking about those anymore. So then you can think about a new, bigger change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the next topic we pulled, and we've discussed this a little bit, is that self-care is not just the bubble bath. There's self-care beyond the bubble bath.
Correct.
So go ahead.
One of them is setting boundaries.
Yeah. So we talked about this in the previous episode when we were talking about work-life boundaries. This falls into that category, but it's also setting boundaries with yourself to protect your well-being. Yeah. And we'll get into some more of those later on down here. We're going to talk about some digital, how the digital world has affected self-care. And there's some boundaries we're going to talk about there.
Yeah, I have to do that with work.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes...
Well, it's so easy when it's right there on your phone. It's right there.
Yeah. Because like setting boundaries, like sometimes I would just say, you know what, I'm going to work through lunch. And I would eat while I'm working. Yeah. Somebody comes into my office, wants to talk to me. I'll cover my food. I'll talk to them. And I would just work.
Yep.
Not really taking time for myself. Right. So what I do, I start setting boundaries. Yep. And if I don't eat, there's some times to where I have already eaten and I have a little bit of extra time. What do? Close my door, put my feet up on my desk, and
either take a nap or take a relax. Right.
Sometimes I just lean back in my chair and just close my eyes and just try to think about, what really helps me. I think about like either walking on the beach or like, if I was in the wilderness in Alaska.
So you're completely removing yourself from the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
And sort of giving yourself a peaceful retreat.
Yeah. Sometimes, you just gotta picture yourself somewhere else, somewhere different. Like if it's a nice walk on the beach, or if it's a nice walk through the woods, or somewhere. You just kind of picture yourself, remove yourself from the physical place where you're in,
Yeah.
and allow your mind to go to somewhere different. And you'll be surprised, even if it's for like 2 or 3 minutes or
Right.
like less than 5. You'll be surprised how you will feel afterwards.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you're hitting right on some future points we had here. We had mindfulness and meditation written down here, so we hit that one. Prioritizing sleep. That's a huge one. I struggle with this one a lot.
So do I.
You have to set boundaries, not to use a word that we're going to repeatedly hear, but you have to set boundaries of what your sleep schedule is going to look like. I'm having a really hard time now with shutting off and disconnecting when I know I should be sleeping. So let's say, if I should be sleeping if my rest window is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., I need to be off the phone at 11 p.m., whatever my rules are going to be, right? I find myself scrolling on various apps till 12:30, 1:30, when I know I should be sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I put the phone down and then I lay there wide awake. Whereas if I would have put the phone down at 11:30, then I'd maybe only be laying there for another 10, 15 minutes and still be asleep before midnight.
Yeah.
Instead of asleep right before 2 a.m. Like, I have a hard time putting the phone down and taking advantage of my rest window.
That used to be my thing also, with some of these social medias. But one thing that I did before I left and went on my trip to Houston, I had my iPad. I had my headphones plugged into it. And I was on YouTube, and there was a guy, and this was part of mindfulness and meditation, because I removed myself from the physical being of being in my house. So there was a guy, he was in Canada, and it was snowing. It was -4.
Sure.
And he built a shelter and to camp out at night, and that was peaceful for me.
Okay.
And while he was building it, I felt myself getting sleepy. And then what I started to do is like picture myself doing that myself.
Okay.
And that's peaceful for me. That's something that, not -4 degrees, but if it was cold,
Right.
that's something that I would want to try to do. And so that's like, so I killed 2 birds with one stone. I was prioritizing my sleep.
Yeah.
And then I was also doing the mindfulness of meditation, because I was like seeing myself doing that. And then, camping out and having a nice fire going, snow around, and then you built your own little shelter. And then, so that was, that helped me fall asleep. And that was probably the best sleep I've gotten in a while, because everything was balanced and my mind was completely at peace when I went to sleep, rather than getting off social media or turning the TV off after watching TV. Because if you're watching something, pretty much everything, most of the stuff that you watch on TV at night is action filled.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Imagine what that does to your brain. Your brain is tuned into that show, so it's being action filled. If you're on social media, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, a lot of that stuff is action filled.
And it's quick bursts.
Exactly.
They're only 30, TikToks or shorts or whatever, 30 seconds, 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's quick bursts. So even if it's not action, like there's still like a beginning, middle of an end, and it's all often shaped like that. So you're feeling this quick burst of energy again and again and again as you're swiping.
So imagine what it's doing to your brain. Yeah. And so your brain,
my exact problem.
Your brain can't relax because it's still in the action mode.
Yep. So I think this is a good transition into the self-care in the digital age.
Yeah.
So that's setting boundaries, maybe designating tech-free zones. Maybe your bedroom is going to be a tech-free zone where you don't have cell phones and iPads and stuff. Maybe you don't have a TV. We know people like that. They don't have a TV in their bedroom. Or maybe it's time. So maybe you're not going to be on your phone after 11 p.m. Or whatever it's going to be. But it's setting boundaries with yourself and your devices. Yeah. To better your mental well-being.
Yeah, because we have a mutual friend, Claire. At a certain time, she turns off all
puts her phones on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. So if it's an important phone call, it'll come through, or if it's an alarm, her alarm will go off.
But all our Facebook messaging nonsense, she'll even hear.
Yeah, exactly. So which she is practicing setting.
She is. A good digital boundary.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other thing is mindful use of technology. So this is, I don't have a problem with this, but I do understand it. So some people scroll their Facebook page and find themselves upset to varying degrees because of the content they see on their Facebook page. And the most often example I can think of this is that they're friends with family members on Facebook they're friends with family members on Facebook that they don't agree with and that do things that aggravate them. And then they see it on Facebook and they get aggravated. I am fortunate enough to not get aggravated by stuff I see like that. I just like sort of let it go and scroll on.
Yeah.
But I can understand how if your feed was inundated with that stuff, that you might become very agitated in life by seeing this. So mindful technology use is not putting yourself in that situation. So either you stop using Facebook or you unfriend these people that are causing you this grief.
Or unfollow them, because then whatever they post doesn't pop up in your feed.
Exactly.
So it's, there's ways around it.
Yeah,
but you just gotta
You got to use the technology with purpose.
Exactly.
So don't let the technology abuse you. You got to change your use to be purposeful about it. I think another thing that's important to talk about is sort of a digital detox.
Oh yeah.
So it's just taking a break. Whether it's a couple hours, a couple days. Everyone's different. To not touch a digital device. I do that on weekends a lot. Sundays a lot. I try not to touch my work computer on Sundays ever. And even my personal computer, lately I've been being pretty good about not touching on Sundays. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to work on things on Sunday.
Yeah, that's something that I do when I get severely. Okay, so sometimes I'll get a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls, work wise, and sometimes it's just draining.
Okay.
And so what do? I leave my phone in my office and I go talk to Steve for about 45 minutes and then I come back.
Right.
So I have a smartwatch. If I'm not in the same vicinity, if I'm a certain distance away from my phone, I don't get no notifications. So I leave my phone in my office. I go to the courtroom, go to Steve's office, talk to him for 45 minutes. Then I go back to my office, and then that's enough for me to do that digital detox to where I'm away from my phone.
Right. And I'm not getting... come back and tackle your messages. You don't feel like you're getting overwhelmed.
Yeah. Because, it's one text message after the next, and then one work email after the next. And then it's just too much sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So I think one final thing to remember about the digital component of self-care is that we need to remember that offline interactions exist.
Yes.
So we need to remember that you can go talk to someone, that you can spend quality time with people in real life, that you can engage in face-to-face conversations, and that you can participate in activities. Maybe you going to a movie, going to mini golf, going bowling, going for a walk with someone.
Yeah.
Things that don't require a little screen in front of your face.
And I would tell people, because what I do a lot, when I get up from my desk and I'm going to go down the hall to the restroom, you don't always have to grab your phone and take it with you.
True.
If you're going to go pee, I'm pretty sure you're going to be in there for less than 45 seconds.
Yep. You don't need your phone for that.
You don't have to have your phone attached to you.
No.
Sometimes I walk down the hall, and even if you walk down, if you go to work and you're not remote working, leave your phone at your desk and just go.
Yep.
If on your way going or on your way coming back, if you stop and talk to a couple of people, that's great.
Yep.
You don't need to have this electronic device with you at all times. And I recognized that when I first started doing it. I was like, oh, I need my phone. Then I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going walking all the way. Yeah. I'm halfway to the restroom. I'm not going to go all the way back to get my phone just to go to the restroom. Just go.
See, I'm bad about that at home. I work from home and I work upstairs and my kitchen's downstairs, right? So I have to go downstairs to get coffee or get water, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I often find myself 2 steps down the steps and I come back up, grab my phone and walk downstairs. And I'm like, did I really need my phone to go get a bottle of water?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I think, well, what if I get distracted and I end up wanting to sit down here? And no. Like, the mission is go get a bottle of water. So just go get your bottle of water and come back upstairs. You don't need to drag your phone along for that.
Yeah.
So I find myself thinking about that a lot.
Yeah. I think we have to do more of disconnecting from
establishing boundaries, disconnecting, and just and building healthy, mindful interactions with technology, not being a slave to it.
Yeah, because I remember several years ago, in New York, they banned cell phone usage while walking because there was a couple people who walked in front of cars, got hit and killed. There was one person who fell into one of the fountains at a mall because they're on their phone.
Yeah.
People can be so consumed by this electronic device that we hold in our hands. But I would say take a break from it. Don't let it control your life. Once you start taking breaks from it, it'll free up space.
Yeah.
And it'll free up space in your mental capacity.
Yes.
And you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Because this electronic device that 99.9% of people on the face of the earth have is controlling their life.
You'll be empowered to have control over the device instead of the device having control over you.
And you know what I realized?
That's the important part.
You know what I realized? I bought my daughter a phone, a smartphone, so that way she can connect to the internet and she don't have to worry about using my phone or her mom's phone. I find that she's super attached to it. Mm-hmm. She can't go pee without the damn phone in her hand.
Right.
I've been making a point of when she says, "Oh, Daddy, I have to go to the restroom." I'm like, "All right, give me your phone."
Right.
You know, because she would sit there with her phone. I know she's done peeing.
Right.
Or doing whatever she's doing, but she'll just be on her phone.
Right.
And then I'm like, "Baby, are you done?" "No, I'm not done yet."
Right.
"It's been 15 minutes. You're done."
Right.
So, if we started with our kids, because my son, one time, he was like, "I need to go." He went to the restroom. He didn't tell me, but he went to the restroom. And I noticed that he was in there for like 30 minutes. I was like, okay, well, if he has to poop, it's not going to take 30 minutes.
Right.
If it does, then we need to go to the hospital.
Right.
Open the door. What is he on? His Switch.
Oh.
And I'm just like, stop. You have to, for parents, make sure that you give your kids a disconnect from electronics also.
Right.
Because...
Yeah, teach them young how to disconnect from
exactly.
devices.
Because it's messing with their mental health also.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And we need to understand that these electronic devices are causing our kids to just be focused on that and nothing else around them.
So not only for your own mental health, but for your kids' mental health, it's important to look at the digital disconnect.
Yeah.
And work on that.
There's many times I go to the mall or I go to the store and I see kids on electronic devices.
Yeah.
Their parents are walking.
And the kid's oblivious behind them.
And the kids... when they look up, they don't even know where their parents are. And I blame the parents for that because you shouldn't allow your kids to be so focused on and so connected to this electronic device, whether if it's a gaming device or a phone or whatever, that they don't have any sense of their surrounding or any awareness that you're not even there. Mm-hmm. So, it's something that, us as parents or even as, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever, need to make sure that, we teach this younger generation, like electronics is not, we need to disconnect them as well to build their mental health, to build so they can start practicing self-care.
Well, coming back to one of our first topics was resiliency.
Exactly.
So you have to build your mental resiliency by understanding that it's okay to disconnect from this stuff and you don't have to be attached I would say, but to the hip, but to the fingertip of these devices.
And I feel like it would better their social skills.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Remember that that in-person interactions exist.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So talk to us. Like, why are we buying this? Why are we buying that?
Yeah.
Like, what we're going to make. That's as far as a grocery shopping wise. But, it allows both the parent and the child to have some type of social interaction.
Right.
And so I think that sometimes that's what our society is lacking is social interaction.
Agreed. Yeah.
And so, let's do more interacting with one another and put our phones down and go from there. Because to be honest, most of the time when I'm over Dan's house or if he comes over my house, at my house, we'll sit on the balcony or at his house, we'll sit on his back patio and we'll glance at our phone a few times. But we get so involved in just talking to one another and have deep conversation that we don't even look at our phone.
You have a habit of checking your security camera.
Yeah.
Obnoxiously.
Just because, But
other than that, I know what you're doing too. So other than that, we're not scrolling. You're doing something. My habit is messing with the music. Mm-hmm. And your habit is checking your security camera. And it looks, to an outsider, it probably looks like we're fucking around on our phones.
Yeah.
But it's really one thing that we each have a tendency to mess with.
I'm checking on my family and Dan's checking on the music playlist.
That's true.
But nonetheless, in all of that of saying, it's just like, learn how to just interact and be with the people that are around you.
Right.
And just put your social media devices down, because you can learn something
Sure.
just by a simple conversation.
Sure. Anything coming up for you this week?
This week, Monday and Tuesday is going to be light. The judges are out in the judicial conference.
Oh, nice.
I have docket Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I don't have a docket.
Ooh, so you sort of have a 4-day weekend then.
Yeah, we have a seminar introducing a special course to the public, but I'm going to try to get out of the office about 1:45, 2 o'clock. It's my daughter's last day of school.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I want to be there to pick her up from school
Sure.
and to, just to talk with her about,
what it was like having...
how did you enjoy your
Yeah.
first school year,
Yeah. Fun.
Her first school year started off with the three of us, her mom and myself, getting over COVID.
Yep.
And then her going to school. And so I just want to see, from a 4-year-old's point of view, how's your week, your school year.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot going on. I'm just going to hang around the house, get things cleaned up, get prepared for my vacation. I got final week of bowling, so give some trophies out there, get that wrapped up, and then early Thursday morning heading up to Denver.
Nice.
Should be a fun trip up there for a few weeks.
See the parentals?
See the parentals and some friends, and yeah, it should be a good time.
There you go.
I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm just going to get prepped for that all week. I don't have work, as we've been talking about. I'm really making an effort. I'm not going to check work email. I'm not going to work on work stuff. I'm out. I'm out of the office right now.
Yeah.
And it'll all be there when I'm confident that it will all be there when I get back.
It will not have burnt down.
Right. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to relaxing, doing things I like. I'm playing a bunch of Fortnite probably.
There you go.
Go for some walks. Might go get a massage. See if I can sneak a massage in there. Sneak some golf in there, and just have a good time leading up to my vacation and continue that trend into my vacation with my parents. That's sort of my goal.
There you go.
So we'll see. We'll see what the week brings.
That's a wrap for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week.
Follow us on all the social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Life with Dan and Lewis.
That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Life with Dan and Lewis.
Video episodes are now available on YouTube, along with all our previous episodes in their audio-only formats, also on YouTube, or wherever podcasts are available. Check them out. We hope to see you all there.
Come check us out.
We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, check out our new limited series, The Spotlight. A new episode posted right before this podcast, so go check that one out after you're done listening here. New episodes of The Spotlight will be coming in between weekly episodes of Life with Dan and Lewis throughout this year. Thanks for listening today. More episodes can be found anywhere podcasts are found, on our YouTube page, and on our website at lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
That's lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, ask yourself, what have you done today to help someone else? Make good choices.
And love one another.